Are you feeling all sorts of jacked up? Stuck? You want to make some changes, but you got no freaking clue where to begin? Been there, boss, and that's why I'm here now. My name is Brittany, and I'm here to help you figure out how to get your shift together. Hello, my friend. Let's have a little chat-ski-doodle, shall we? I have been in this place before of feeling super unhappy. I was angry, I was disheartened, filled my body with shit all the time, drugs, alcohol, all that to try and to feel better. And I surrounded myself with toxic people, hated my job, I was piss broke. I felt like there was constantly this static around me that I couldn't get rid of. This gross layer of energy just making me feel like I was trying to fight my way out of quicksand all the time. I didn't think that there was an end in sight, that's for damn sure. Because everything up until then, every experience that I'd had up until that point, had proven to me that this was just the way that my life was going to be. And the way that my life was going to go forever. No matter what I did, shit went wrong. And obviously, if this has been my track record for this long as I can remember, then that must be the evidence that things will continue to go wrong, right? We humans tend to put a lot of evidence on outcomes than we do the process. And what I mean by that is the process in which we took for the outcome to actually end up the way that it did to begin with. If relationships end, we focus on the fact that relationships never work for me, rather than the fact that the people we choose tend to be toxic, or how our ex cheated on us, or maybe we have trouble with trusting others or opening up. Dude, that information is important. The attention needs to be in the details. When you read a book, do you just read the beginning and the end? Or do you also get caught up in a story that leads you to how they even got to the end to begin with? I'm gonna really hope you're not somebody who just reads the beginning and the end of the book. Come on now. The point is, we want to be focused on the details, just like we would in a book, in our life too, and not just concentrate on the end results of things. Those details are going to be what actually helps us, not only to grow and to shift, but to learn how to be grounded in the reality of what's gone on and what continues to occur for us. One of the best steps that I've ever taken toward getting my shift together is to stop viewing life as a series of things happening to me or against me, and to start looking at it as a series of experiences, period. Experiences that I can grow from, experiences that I can learn from. It is amazing how powerful that tiny, tiny shift in our thinking can change the way that we understand our lives. How a tiny, subtle tweak can move us from unhappy to joyful, or at the very least indifferent. From stuck to flowing, from lost to the crone full of wisdom about our own kick-ass journey. I'll share some experiences from my own life. In terms of relationships, there was a time that I was a serial dater. I couldn't be alone. God forbid I didn't have a boyfriend. And they were typically some long-term ass relationships too. Almost all of them also ended very poorly. Cheaters, liars, and even an abusive relationship. When I was in the thick of it, I was just full of anger, full of sadness, and even fear because I thought that I would be alone forever every time a relationship ended. I was convinced that I would never find anyone because, like I said, the track record proved it, right? If a handful of them didn't work, that meant none would ever work. Dude, could you imagine if that's how science worked? That if one experiment or a few experiments bombed, that we would just stop experiments altogether? Let's be like scientists. Because that's what this is really. We're learning from each experiment that didn't pan out the way that we wanted it to. We're learning from each experience that didn't pan out the way that we wanted it to. And that's what I did. I started to look at these relationships not as failures and not as a way to view myself in a negative light, but as a way to learn. What did I learn from these relationships? Well, I sure as shit learned what I didn't want in someone. I learned what I did want too. I learned the type of connection that I wanted to experience with someone. I learned how to trust. I learned how to communicate effectively and how not to communicate. I learned to follow my damn gut. Intuition, don't ignore that shit. I learned what I deserve. I think I'm on 7. I learned that I'm a fucking warrior who can get herself out of a really dark, really abusive relationship. And that I have a lot of support systems around me who can help me get through tough times like that. It's like 9 things. If I didn't have that experience of an abusive relationship, I would never have found spirituality either, or healing. And I wouldn't be here now doing what I do because that relationship drove me to find my own healing and peace. That sounds so much better than I've been in a ton of relationships and none of them ever work out. And it's not like we're in denial, y'all. The things that I said, the experiences that I had, the growth, that's all true. I'm not BSing myself into thinking more positively. It's factual. Those things did occur. Having a ton of relationships and none of them working out, that's actually not true. That sentence that we tell ourselves, that things don't work out, period, it's missing a really important piece of the truth, which is that things didn't work out the way that I wanted them to. That is a big fucking difference. Saying things never work out sounds definitive. It sounds like this journey was marked as doomed from the beginning. And it sounds damn abysmal. Saying that things haven't worked out the way that I wanted them to is a brilliant reminder that sure, they haven't worked out the way that we wanted them to, but that the only part that didn't work out is how we wanted it to go. But just because it's not panning out the way that we wanted it to go, doesn't mean it's not panning out exactly the way that it needs to. And that is still the truth. If anything, saying something never works out or never will work out, that's the lie, you guys. So where do we start? How do we move toward getting our shit together? First, stop lying to ourselves. Stop lying to yourself that things aren't working out or that you're stuck this way forever or whatever other negative ass stories you might be telling yourself. Second, the truth is in the details, baby. How can you start to reflect on the details of these experiences? And how can you reflect on what it is you've gained from these experiences? What did you learn? How did they shape you? How have you grown from them? Because I guarantee, no matter how fucked up the situation was, you've grown from it. But only you can convince yourself of how much you've grown. I can't do that. They can't do that. Only you can do that. If you can open up to the idea that life is a series of experiences, if you can take these steps to reflect on how you experience them in this way, you are well on your way to getting your shit together. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Brittany. Here for it, here for your journey. Thanks for letting me be a part of it. Hey, I hope this video was helpful for you. But I also want to know what other things that you need, what obstacles you might be facing, what sort of guidance you might need. Send me an email, let me know. I'll do what I can to get some videos out for you on those topics as well. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share with your friends because sharing is caring. And follow me on Instagram for a daily dose of all the good vibes at Brittany Luna Shift. Until next time.